So welcome to another episode of the classic lizard Canary. This is series 3, episode 5. Breeding season is well underway. You'll see some footage coming up in a second that will kind of explain where we are in terms of the pairs. You remember from the previous episode, established that a couple of birds that we thought were males were actually females. So that's given me some extra scope to move the 4 males that I have across more hens, which I guess is a good option. And luckily I've had a bit of time to kind of manage that a little bit better as well. So let's see how that works out. Most of the video is really going to show you where we are. There's a few little snippets for newcomers in terms of some discussions around soft food, what I use, how I use it. Also a little bit about topping the youngsters up if they need it as well. So a little bit about that. And that's pretty much it. It's a fairly short episode, to be honest, this time. The date of recording this is around about the 11th of April 2026. And although the show season's quite some distance away, a lot of us that are involved in the behind the scenes work regards various associations and clubs, etc. I've already got plans well underway for the show season in terms of the shows, who's judging and so on. So I am going to add a little piece at the end where you'll just literally see a list of the shows, the dates that they're happening in date order, the judges that have been appointed so far, and then any updates I get during the course of the year. I'll put those on as well. Most of those shows I would imagine I'll be attending, and again, if I'm attending and showing, I'll be recording footage just like I have done consistently through the previous show seasons as well. And if it's shows that I can't attend, I'm quite lucky that a number of people in the fancy have been really helpful in the past in terms of supplying me photographs and videos, and I'd encourage everybody to do that. So obviously I don't get to any shows overseas, but I know we have overseas viewers to the channel and subscribers to the channel. So I'm putting this challenge out to all of you. If you'd like your show, when it happens, to be represented on the channel, feel free to send me any video footage, any photographs, in any way you can, preferably with some form of show reports, who's won what. And as the season prolongs into the like I said, the show season later in the year, I'll definitely put the results and the footage on the channel. I appreciate actually in some parts of the world, I'm just thinking actually Australia, I think they've just had one of their big shows this time of year, of course. So again, you guys out in Australia, if you've got some results and you've got some footage and some photographs that you want to share with me, send them to the email address that will pop up shortly, and I'll do my best to include them on the channel. And like I said, I may end up reaching out to you for a bit more information, but yeah, I think it'll be really good for the hobby as a whole to kind of see what happens in the hobby, not just in the UK, but elsewhere in the world. So yeah, there's the challenge. Please feel free to send me your footage and reports, and I will pop them out there for the rest of the world, viewers and subscribers to see. In the meantime, I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you to the rest of the episode. I hope you find it interesting, and look forward to speaking to you again at some point, probably end of April or maybe early May time. So in the meantime, if your breeding season started, like I said, good luck, and look forward to catching up again soon. Okay, bye-bye. So just wanted to show you a few essentials through the breeding season. So first of all, from a soft food perspective, I keep things really simple. So the first thing I do in the morning when I come down for breakfast and so on is I take a load of petit pois, peas, put it in a glass, pour boiling water onto it, to defrost it, because I should have made the point they're frozen when I put them in. I then, once they've softened up, put them in this container, and then I actually add to that some Bacilla Lager moist egg food. I mix that in, and then I give that to the birds. Now, one of the other things to sort of show you here is I also have this NutriBird hand mix, which if I feel that the youngsters need topping up, I mix it so it's viscous enough that it will pass through the needle, not the needle, but the head of the syringe, and I'll use that to just top up the youngsters. Now, of course, that's yellow. So I generally find that the first probably 24 hours, the chicks are okay, because they're still kind of surviving off effectively what they were basically feeding off when they were in the egg sac. Okay. Now, then I sometimes find that the hens are a little bit slow to do what they need to do. So that's when I'll probably consider just topping up small amounts of the NutriBird hand mix, just to kind of keep the chicks going and give them the strength that they need to raise their heads, so the hens can see them. But one of the nice things about them with the soft food, having the petit pois in there, is not just the fact that it's a good source of nutrients and it's good for feeding the birds, it's nice and soft, but also the colour. Because as you can imagine, if I didn't put these in, the soft food would be yellow, the hand feed would be yellow, and I wouldn't be able to tell necessarily quickly at a glance how well the hens are feeding the chicks. But by putting the petit pois in being green, you see good signs that the hen is feeding when you start spotting those bits of green in the crops of the birds, and then you know she's doing her part and she's not just relying on you with your top up. So that's the reason why I wanted to bring that to probably newcomers' attentions. When someone introduced me to putting the peas in the soft food, it's simple, but it's a game changer, and it certainly helps rear young successfully, and also when you're weaning, having that bit extra in there kind of keeps them going until they get used to seed. So I just wanted to highlight that as a little update for anybody that isn't used to doing this kind of thing, and just a few tips that might help you during the breeding season. So something else I do. One of the things I want to try and avoid is lots of stale soft food in the bottom of the cage or being left in the egg drawers. You can see a hen there feeding off the soft food, and from the egg drawer, of course. There's another one down there. I've obviously just done this. But if there's any excess in there, like I said, I don't want it going stale. Now, because it's a fairly small bird room, as you can appreciate, I don't have a lot of space for like a bin and all that kind of stuff. And quite frankly, with bins, they tend to smell quite quickly. So one of the things I do every day is any excess soft food, I use these dog poo bags. And I use that to basically empty any excess waste content from the egg drawers into, so that basically there's less on the floor of the cage. The other thing, because the birds are used to me pulling these trays out once a week in the non-breeding season and changing the paper and cleaning them, I do that throughout the breeding season as well, and I find they're used to it, so it also doesn't disturb them. So that was something else I kind of wanted to point out as well, just to give you a few ideas of a couple of the things that I do again. So let's try and take a look at what we have so far. There's 11 chicks in total. Here you can see 3 in there. One looks like it's a nearly non-cap. The others look like clear caps or broken caps, probably a bit hard to tell at the minute. There's 4 with this pair here that are doing pretty well, just over a week old. Okay. The one that's got two on their own, the hen's a little bit temperamental, so I'm going to not show you those. But I don't know whether you can see in there, but there is a clear cap and a broken cap baby in there, pretty well fully feathered. And I would imagine they would be hopping out of the nest at some point this week. Today is the 11th of April 2026. Then got my second favourite non-cap gold hen. She's sitting on 3 eggs there. The non-cap silver that I thought was a cockbird that turned out to be hen is now sitting on 5. Then the silver hen outcross that came in, she's laid today. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. I'm just about to take that out actually and swap it for a dummy egg. The other thing you'll notice, and if anyone watched my videos last year, I actually had the cockbirds in with the hens, and they actually fed the youngsters together with the hens pretty well. There's very little interference. But this particular pair 2, they did hatch 2 youngsters out quite early, and unfortunately she didn't feed them at all. I didn't top them up, to be honest, because I always like to wait and see what they do themselves. And I think she literally just stayed on the nest, and I think it was because the cock was so much in condition, he continued to hassle her, and she literally just stayed on the nest and resulted in the youngsters being squashed. So I kind of put a doubt in my mind then, and I was noticing it with a few of the other pairs where literally the cocks are so lively, it's unbelievable. So again, I did the same thing. Every other pair that I've got, I've actually removed the cockbirds into the next cages. I've also had to do it for another reason, of course, because I had a couple of what I thought were cockbirds turn out to be hens. I've now got only 4 cockbirds, and I've got something like 7 hens to work with. So as a result of that, I kind of needed to separate cockbirds away anyway to be able to use them with the surplus hens. And it seems to be working out so far. Oh, and there we go. I've just spotted something that I hadn't noticed earlier. Sorry about the fingers. Keep doing that. And there you go. Despite there being a nest pan in this cage, this non-cap gold hen has decided to yet again nest on the floor. Yeah, so last time she did this, I just picked the nest up and put it inside the nest pan and moved it to the position where the nest is currently. So I guess I'll do the same again. They're mad, aren't they? These things, unbelievable. So I'll have to move that seed feeder to another part of the cage and swap that nest pan over. Yeah, they're certainly sent to try us. So yeah, I'm just highlighting a few things that I've experienced already. So if it happens to any would-be beginner, relative newcomer to the hobby, yeah, they certainly present a few challenges, and you just kind of have to work with it and do things to kind of manage it, really. Something else I wanted to point out. So if you look in this cage here, this is a cage that's got 3 youngsters in the nest, and I've done the same with the nest that's got the 2 birds that are virtually feathered. You can see millet spray. My main reason for the millet spray really is the fact that when the youngsters do jump the nest, you know, often millet spray is a great way of helping wean them onto seed when they start pecking at that. But I was watching Matt Al's recent video about a week ago, and I thought it was a really good point he mentioned, actually, and that was that the millet spray kind of encourages the hen to peck at the millet spray and keeps them active, and probably eliminates or virtually stops them wanting to pluck feathers out of the youngsters. And I hadn't even considered that, to be honest, until I saw that on Matt's video. So a big shout out to Matt for kind of highlighting that one. Because I've actually introduced the millet spray into the cages that little bit earlier where the youngsters are, purely for that reason, to give the hens something else to do. So they're less focused on wanting to peck the feathers out of those youngsters, which of course would be detrimental to those birds from a show season perspective. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it from taking a look around at where we are currently. I also wanted to point out that thing I mentioned earlier about the youngsters being like 24 hours old, maybe a little bit longer, managing to live off what they were living off from when they were in the egg, of course. That was something I wasn't really aware of before until my good friend Mick Tiffany pointed it out on an excellent video probably just over a year ago. I'd encourage anybody, if you get the opportunity, go and look at Tweed Street. Mick did a fantastic thing, not sure it was last season or the season before, where he actually showed some video footage and pictures of the birds through the various stages from hatching out to then just showing pictures of them each day of their life until they left the nest, which was fantastic. So again, unfortunately my cages don't really allow me to do that, and I don't really have the time. But because Mick had got the wire cages, he was able to place a camera phone above them and do that. So I'd strongly encourage anybody, if you get the opportunity, go and take a look at Tweed Street, look at some of those videos Mick produced, because honestly they've been invaluable. They've certainly been invaluable to me as well, and I've been doing this for quite some time. So it's good to see. Just want to pan up to the top there, and I don't know whether you can, they've stopped now, but the cockbird was feeding the hen. That's the hen that's laid an egg today. So I find it absolutely fascinating. That's what I love about the hobby, is all the various habits and things that the birds do. Just looking down there now, she doesn't look quite so happy with me. She's sitting over her 4 chicks that clearly want feeding, and she's going to wait until I shut up, to be honest, because I'm clearly bothering her. So I'm going to get out of the way and leave these birds to do what they need to do. So with that, thank you, and I will talk to you soon.